What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Omari, and we are locked in. Now, this is episode 2 of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. We seen last week, the first episode, we seen a young Kanan. We seen young Jukebox. We seen his uncles. We seen his mom. So we know what Kanan is about. We also seen him catch his first body on Buck 20. But that's stirring up some problems with Unique and his crew, so we got to pick up where we left off. But before we get into today's episode, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you can be a part of it. Hit your subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. Now, this week, moving forward, we know there's a bullet out there with Kanan's name on it, and he's going to have to run and run and run until that bullet catches him one day. And we know it ain't going to catch him until later on in life, but right now we got to see if he's gonna dodge anything else. So this is Power Book 3 Episode 2, Raising Kanan. The last thing we seen was young Kanan taking the trash out. Now I look at his mom a little differently now, because why would you send your son outside hour, 2 hours after there was just a drive-by? You just stay in the house. We could take the trash out in the morning when it's daytime. But he's been out of school ever since then, and he's scarfing down his food because he wants to get back. But his mom is saying, maybe you should stay out of school for a little bit longer, because there's still gonna be people looking for you, and you're gonna have to be careful at all times. But Kanan, in his head, he's like, I'm straight. He built up that courage. He's like, I can go to school, Mom. I'm gonna be all right. Drinks his OJ. All right, Mom, I'm out. And she's like, Kanan, keep your eyes open at all times. In a matter of seconds, just like that, Kanan goes outside and picks up a bullet, and he changes from I'm gonna be all right, Mom, to looking at the bullet like, damn, I almost just died. While Kanan is standing there, his mom comes out and yells, Kanan, because she thinks it's another drive-by, because it's just a black van. But it turns out it's just some angry black guy with a hood on, throwing phone books a little too aggressively in the morning. Like, hey, sir, just drive by and drop it out the window. He mugging and throwing it out the window. So she's going to drive Kanan to school because she feels scared for her boy. Now, Raquel, she's ripping young Kanan. She taking him to school, and he's like, Ma, y'all remember this? Just like Tariq. Ma, get me in the game, man. You need to put me in the game, and I'm ready for it. And she's telling him, you ain't ready for it. But you need to stay scared, because the minute you ain't scared, those people, they gonna get you. And she just whipping it. She looking over at him. But you got to have that fear, because if you go out with no fear, then you're going to start getting reckless. You're going to be too cocky. So she's just trying to tell him, like, hey, you got to make it through all this before you even get in the actual dope game. You in the game, but you ain't in the dope game. As soon as Kanan shows up to the school, we got some girls in the hallway scrapping. I'm talking about they MMA in it. They holding each other's hair, giving each other uppercuts and stuff. The police got to break them up. And one girl was like, oh, Buck 20, he ain't even like you. He was with me the night before he died. The other girl, she breaks loose from the cops and she hit her like, girl, no, you didn't. And then the principal just out of nowhere, hey, take them to my office. Now, the school I went to, if the cops break it up, oh, it ain't going to no office. Your ass is going to jail. That's how it was in the school I went to. If the cops were ever involved, you were going to jail. There wasn't no take you to the principal's office. No, they're going to take you to the jail. Your parents going to come pick you up. You're probably going to get charged with something. And then you're going to get suspended from school. Now, of course, tough guy Kanan, it kind of playing, playing something with his heart, because he's the kid that killed Buck 20. And nobody knows this except for him and his crew. We got the OGs, Lulu, Raquel, and Uncle Marvin. Now, they're sitting at the table and they're discussing what they're going to do with young Kanan. They like, hey, we got to pick Kanan up and take him to the stash spots. He's going to be hanging out there. Now, they're also going over why did Raquel give those blocks back to Unique? But they needed to dead this whole situation. But they also feel like it's a waste, because Kanan still has a price on his head. So they're going to hide Kanan out at the stash houses. But the stash houses, they're going to be running low on dope because they don't have any blocks. So it's not like they're getting any money to go re-up on. But what Lulu says, there's a bodega up on Suffin at the end of what they own. And they looking for some opportunities. So these Colombians, they may be able to be our new connect that we might need to be able to move some more work. Kanan makes his way into the principal's office, which I don't know how this would happen, but he sits down to Davina and he's talking to her and he's like, I'm sorry about Buck 20. And she starts to say, yeah, I've been out of school for a while because she's just been dealing with things. And he lies about why he's been out of school, strep throat or something like that. But he tells her that he feels sorry for Buck 20. And she says, I know you guys weren't friends, but he was good to me. So at some point, it's gonna come out to her that Kanan is actually the one that killed Buck 20, and we know it's probably gonna happen either right before they get together or right after they get together, and it's gonna make them separate from each other. Now, Davina's mother comes up here and she's upset. She's raising 2 kids by herself, and the Dr. West, the principal, she's like, "Come in here, we're gonna talk to her. Come on," making this scene out here. Monet and Kane, my bad, wrong show. Raquel and Unique, they're at the cemetery and they're talking. They're having a meet up with no security. Now, Unique, when he showed up, he was like, "Man, I don't know, this might be a hit." But she's like, "If it was a hit, we would already got you." Now, what they're doing is they're just discussing what's going on with Kanan still having a price on his head. Now, Unique says, "I called all my people off, but Buck 20, he has a family and I can't control them. But this is the streets, and the streets are going to want a body for this." So what he's saying is, outside of me, I controlled my whole crew, but Buck 20's family, they want a body for this. It's a body for a body in the streets. It ain't no, "Oh, here goes some bread." No. We won't pay back. And I did say that they were Monique and Kane because it's pretty much cookie cutter. They dress the same. They both talk the same. It's just one was son and mother, and this one is enemies. Kanan and the crew, they walking and they talking about that Buck 20 body. Now, D-Wiz, Kanan says, "Man, you can go ahead and have that body. It don't matter." But us talking about it out loud, it's not going to benefit anybody. When they get in the hall, Famous, you know he's loud. He's the center of attention. They see Davina and he yelling out, "Oh, look at the champ. She look good and she can fight." Now, Davina, she's walking and she keeps turning around. We know any black mom that's working 2 jobs, taking care of 2 kids with no help, she would have snatched her ass up and said, "Girl, if you don't quit turning around, I had to come up here, take off work, and come get your ass." It would have been over. But they all looking at her and they like, "Dang, I think I'm in love." And you hear Jukebox say, "Buck 20 just died." D-Wiz says she's single, ain't she? We know Detective Howard and we know Detective Burt. There's 2 differences between the 2. Detective Howard, he's in the streets. He really doesn't care what's going on. He's going to work with either side to benefit for himself. Detective Burke, she's going to try to figure out what's really going on. And she's saying, "Hey, we need to go interview Raquel about this shooting and see what they know about Buck 20 because he's dead. There was a shooting." Now, Detective Howard, he's like, "Nah, let's not even worry about none of that. Who cares? Let's just make sure no one else gets shot." So we already know what his intentions is. Whatever is good for Detective Howard. Now, Uncle Marvin, he comes in, and we know Symphony, he was out on a date with Raquel. And pretty much what Marvin is doing is he's testing them. So he's like, "You messing with my sister? Man, you better not be doing nothing with her." And Symphony, he ain't back down. Marvin's like, "I'm going to F you up. I'm going to fuck you up." You're like, "Man, you ain't going to do nothing." But then Marvin starts laughing. He's like, "Oh, I know, man. You know, I'm just making sure your intentions are good with my sister." But Symphony's like, "Yeah, it is, but you ain't got to worry about none of that." And Marvin said, "Cool. Where's Tony at? Because we here for business. We know last time that they came to the club. Oh, the barking dog. Y'all remember that incident? So now we get to actually talk to Tony. And now we can probably make some progress because that dog is out the way. So that damn assistant won't be in our way." Now, when Marvin gets in there with Tony, things are a little bit different like I expected. Now, Tony, she's upset. "Hey, what do you know about my dog? I think Raquel did that." And Marvin's like, No. She didn't do that. She likes dogs. But we got to be in the club tomorrow." And Tony's trying to say, "Nah, it's short notice. Go do it in the club in Harlem." He's like, "Look, we just need a little corner section and we good to go. You won't even know we here." So she's starting to think about it because we do got to make some extra money in here. She's like, "All right, you can do it. Y'all can sell it in here, but you got to pay my DJ." He's like, "All right, say less. That's easy. DJ money, that's nothing, but you got to save me a dance." And she's like, I'm not good at dancing. And my boy breaks it down. He's like, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna be doing all the dancing." Y'all remember Save the Last Dance? She couldn't dance at first, but she got the rhythm later. Detective Howard and Detective Burt, they're pulling up to Unique spot because he's going to go do some work. He's going to try to figure some things out, but he's also testing Detective Burke. He doesn't bring her in because, you know, she'd get in there and start asking all these questions. So what he tells her is, don't take anything from nobody, including me, because he's trying to toughen her up for the streets. Now he goes in there and he starts talking to Unique about a Buck 20. And he's like, "Hey, you know what I'm saying? I heard he was one of yours." Now, long story short, Unique tells him, "Oh, well, you need to talk to Raquel about that, because, you know what I'm saying, we ain't had nothing to do with that. RIP. Pretty much just saying, hey, Raquel killed Buck 20. Nah, but it is what it is. So he's like, all right, cool. But I'm telling you, Unique, we can't have any more kids ending up dead here, because more kids that end up dead, his captain is going to make him actually come in here and start arresting y'all. So if you want to stay on the streets, let's limit the bodies. Howard tells Unique straight up, we know it was bad when Raquel took over for Uppost, because now it's like she doesn't know the rules or she just doesn't care about them. There can only be one king, and I'm choosing you, Unique. So Howard's saying, hey, I'm going to rock with you. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you can get back on top, but you got to do it. Raquel and Lulu, they run into Mr. Famous and D. Now, we know Lulu's been trying to get at Famous's sister, and they giving them some money, make sure they all right, because they got to get these kids money to keep them quiet and, you know, just make them feel like, okay, we cool with them, even though everything is going on. And also Lulu's like, hey, tell your sister I said what's up. And you could tell Famous doesn't want her talking to him. So Lulu kind of gets upset with like, just tell her I said what's up. Now, they at this bodega because the Colombians are in here and we got to talk business. So y'all boys get on out of here. When they pull up on the Colombians, we know it's a guy and his wife. His wife, she has a black eye and they looking like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He comes out the back and says, hey, y'all don't talk business where you talk business with me. So pretty much what he's going to be doing is he's going to be the stash house where they can hold all their dope and things. They have reinforced doors. They got security cameras. So he turns and looks at Lulu like, okay, well, if you guys are going to be having your product here, what kind of numbers are we talking? Lulu's like, hey, don't talk to me. Raquel's running it. And we just seen he doesn't talk business with his wife. So we already know he's going to have a, you know, kind of iffy on doing business with Raquel because she's a woman. But he wants a cut of what they making on the street. And they tell him straight up, hey, we taking all the risk. We the ones putting it on the streets. All you going to do is be holding it. So we going to pay you rent money and that's it. So you can either take it or leave it, because if not, we straight without it. He's like, shoot, I take it. We good. I'm good with that. Marvin takes Kanan to the stash house because we got to have him hiding out for a little bit after school. We don't want him at the house so people know where he is. We got him at the stash spot with Scrappy. And he's like, why am I here? Well, first of all, you got to do your homework, because you mess up on them books, it's over with for you. And two, you about to learn the game. So listen to Scrappy and pay attention and come here every single day after the school. We know Jukebox, she a hustler. She can sing. She could do it all. Now she pulls up on Twin and he's out here selling knockoffs and he's selling shirts. He's like, hey, sweater, $30. Sells it for 20. She like, man, you got to get your hustle game right. So she picks up a jacket. Old dude comes by like, oh man, this is fresh. She like $250. He said, hell no, I do 100. She like, I can sell it for $350. Go down to the Africans at the end of the block. They sell you that knockoff stuff. So pretty much what she's doing is telling them, hey, man, I'm putting my life in jeopardy selling this to you. And she ends up convincing them to buy it for $250. But if you buy anything off the street, it's either stolen or it's a knockoff. If they talking $250, oh, I do 100. And even that's too high. And then they can be like, nah, it's $250. All right, $150, and that's it. Sell that $150 and get up out of there. Raquel gets home. We got Kanan in the hallway doing pull-ups, going halfway up and stuff. And he's sweating his ass off. She's like, how was after school? He's like, it's boring, man. When I'm going to get on the block, on the corner? Kanan, just stay at the stash. You don't want to be on the corner being a worker. You be in there and you break down the bricks. You know what I'm saying? You move them things out. That's where you want to be. That's where the money is. But Raquel's like, hey, you got to crawl before you walk. She does tell him that she ran into Famous and D-Wiz and was bringing up, hey, I know those guns you got for $120 was from D-Wiz's brother. And he's like, yeah, but, you know, D-Wiz, he's going to hold it down for me and stuff. His brother is a little bit crazy. But all she's saying is, hey, I know what's going on in these streets, even if you haven't told me. And it's just letting him know, like, hey, this is how the game goes. You got to be smart about what you're doing out here. Kanan, he's creeping around the house. Now, Scrappy's supposed to be watching him, but we've seen Scrappy playing video games and he really doesn't give a damn. He gets downstairs and he's looking in the basement and it's a door that has all these locks on it. Scrappy like, what are you doing down there? Oh man, what's behind this door? You supposed to be teaching me the game. Scrappy's like, fool, they brought you over here to keep your dumb self out the streets, not for you to learn the game. Scrappy's like, man, this kid, Hey, I'm about to be playing the game. Get from down there. You definitely ain't about to learn the game. Your mom ain't told you what was behind that door. I ain't telling you what. Get your butt up here. And Kanan's looking at her like, damn, my mama played me. Nicole and Jukebox, we know they got a relationship going on, and Nicole wants her to come to her white people ball, but she's telling her you can't be wearing that Ralph Lauren, man. Hey, Ralph Lauren is swaggy, but at this event you gotta dress up. You gotta put on some downtown wear. Now they go over there and they look at the price, and Jukebox is like, ugh, I can get this on the street for like 20, 25. You know what I'm saying? But Nicole was like, I can buy it for you, and Jukebox gets upset because it's like, you're making it seem like I'm just some poor black girl. All you had to do is say I had the money for it, Juke. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, oh, no, I can get it, but I really don't want to pay that money. But if you are going to buy it, then okay, I deeply appreciate that. But Jukebox got mad. She got up out of there. Nicole chases her down, and she apologizes and say, I'm sorry. I just, where I'm from, the way people show that they care for somebody is they buy them things. But we also seen how her friends were looking at black people also. Like, they were kind of looking down on her. So that's why Jukebox actually got mad. But she apologizes for it and says the shirt was ugly. I wasn't going to buy it for you anyway. And Jukebox tells her, well, I'm really feeling you and I like you too. So they get to kissing and they squash their little beef. I thought while they were kissing, you were going to hear somebody say, ew, nigger lover. But nobody did. So they're good to go. Kanan comes to his mom. You put me over there to get me out the game and ice me. She like, yep, I sure did. But what she does is she explains to him, hey, you know what your dad did? He actually sat at the stash. He had me there because he didn't want me in the streets. And what she's trying to explain to him is at some points in the game when you're working your way up, to be a good leader, you have to take what roles are issued to you. So for him staying at the stash, that's what you got to do right now. That's your order. You stay there, and then we move you up to the next thing. He's just trying to jump straight into the game, and that's never how it works. Whenever that happens, it's over with for him. So Raquel tells him, that's why I put you there, and I'm about to go out. So get out my face, kid, because it's time to party. Raquel told Kanan, boy, if you don't get the hell out of my face, mama gotta have a life too. Oh, you can have a friend stay tonight. Tell D-Wiz he can come over. I just copped New Jack City. He can stay tonight, you know what I'm saying? Watch this. But deuces, I got to go. D-Wiz is walking to Kanan's house and Lulu pulls up. Hey, D-Wiz, where you going, man? We going to a party downtown. Kanan ain't tell you he gonna be there? He like, nah. He like, hey, come on, man. Get in the car. Let's ride. I'm gonna take you up there, bro. Let's go. You already know what's about to happen here. If you ain't pieced it together yet, let me tell you. And at the same time, Jukebox gets off the bus and she sees Uncle Lulu, D-Wiz. Where they headed to? Marvin shows up to the club. He's like, oh, wait, whoa, you shouldn't be doing all that. You know what I'm saying? A lady of yourself looking all good like that in that black like a sexy witch. Let me get that for you. They walking and look like Marvin caught the vapors. R.I.P. to Biz Marquis. But he's like, I like the black on you. She said, oh, I like the blacks too. Blacks. Men. Read between the lines, people. Kanan's sitting on the couch and he looks out the window and sees Davina walking by. Now, my first thing is there was just a drive-by here. I'm not hanging outside talking to nobody. The second thing he tells her, I'm waiting on D-Wiz, but he's in the car with Lulu headed to a party about to turn up. And then she starts saying, hey, well, the newspaper put an article about $120 in there. It was only 4 sentences. His whole life in 4 sentences. I know Kanan's sitting there thinking, I don't give a damn what they talking about $124. And don't believe what anybody's saying. We didn't have any beef with him. And she's like, well, I won't be in school for about a week. And he's like, I'm gonna wait on you. Now we know he needs to just leave this alone because it's only gonna come out that you had something to do with $120. And if not you, somebody in your crew. But that's gonna get out. And what are you gonna do then, Kanan? You gonna start lying on everybody? Now, Marvin, he's trying to get his people in the club. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you got the plug, oh, I know the promoter. Hey, you get us in? They in the back of the line because, they always showing up late. Talk about, hey, man, can you hook us up? Marvin goes back. They're like, I got y'all. Y'all gonna get in here. Now, there's 4 gentlemen talking about, hey, you looking for soldiers? We from QB. That's Queensbridge. And they like, yeah, we down for whatever. Can you hook us up? He's like, okay. Nah, y'all can't. Y'all gonna sit right here in the express line. It ain't no shortcuts. So pretty much what he's doing is testing them and letting them know, yeah, I got y'all, But this is a test. If y'all can wait out here and do as I say, then I can slowly start trusting y'all and bring y'all in as soldiers. So Marvin, he doing the right thing, showing that tough guy image. Lulu in here gaming the women. Got D Wiz in here turning up. And he's like, hey, chill out, D. Let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me introduce you to this young lady over here. Now, mind you, D Wiz is in high school, so he's talking to an older woman. He's getting free drinks. Lulu looking out for him. Vulnerable right now. He's just a little guppy. Just a guppy in the pond, man. I already know where this is headed. If you ain't tracking where this is going, then hey, I don't know what to tell you. But look at the face of Lulu. He's telling them, hey, best night of your life. He's doing everything for him. He just leading this kid on because there's a master plan in this. Symphony, he has the educational background, and this should be common knowledge, but he's explaining to her why buildings are so high. It used to be the poor people lived at the top because they had to walk up the stairs and stuff, and the rich people lived at the bottom. But once the elevator was invented, the rich people started buying the top because it's safer at the top. And the poor people lived at the bottom. And also when you live at the top, it's safer, but you can see anything that's coming. So that's what he's explaining to her. And also it plays a role in, hey, you work your way up to the boss so you can have people below you and you can see what's coming. $200. Lulu got her in here throwing that thing for D Wiz. He's like, oh my gosh. Oh, damn. It's about to get ugly for this kid. You can just feel it coming. The drunk white guys are in the line. They're like, hey, Tony, when you gonna let me in? She's like, fuck off. Marvin just turns around and hits him, and they just start going at it. Security coming over. Lulu and D Wiz come outside, and D Wiz talking about, oh, they jumping Marvin. First of all, you drunk, and you ain't about to throw no hands to nobody. And Lulu's like, oh, Marvin can handle that on his own. We got jukebox singing. We got Raquel throwing that thing on Symphony. We got Kanan in here reading the newspaper article. January 26, 1974 to March 15th, 1991. Donnell Christopher Worley passed away on March 15th at the age of 17. He was born on January 26th in South Jamaica, Queens. He is survived by his parents, Terrence and Lucinda Worley, and his younger brother. Damn. The funeral service will be held at Holy Baptist Church on Saturday, March 23rd. Then out of nowhere, Marvin's getting arrested. Tony's talking about, I'm so sorry. I never had anyone fight for me before. He's like, don't worry about it. No one's going to disrespect my girl. I'm like, girl? She runs up and kisses him. I told you, I read between the lines. She loves black too. Men. Lulu takes D Wiz in a little alley. He turns around. He's like, Lulu, no. Pow. Kills the young boy D Wiz. And let me tell you why they killed D Wiz. The reason they killed D Wiz is because D Wiz was there when Kanan shot at Buck 20. So they're going to say that D Wiz was the one that actually killed Buck 20. So this will get the hit off of Kanan. They'll think, oh, Kanan didn't do it. D Wiz did. And they're going to say D Wiz is dead now. I told y'all, if y'all couldn't see, they were lining this kid up the whole time. I told you he was a guppy in the pond. They just gonna eat this kid up, man. Damn. He was holding it down, but that's the way the streets are, man. Stay away from the streets. Lulu calls Rock. Home run. It hangs up. That's all you need to say. Symphony's like, who is that? Oh, it's my son. He's good. He's good. That was just confirmation that the hit went through. Damn, D Wiz. 2 episodes. There you go. Episode 2. Let me know, did y'all think what I was thinking? Did y'all not see that coming? They were trying to clear up Kanan and get rid of D Wiz. Let me know what y'all think about that. But also, let me know, do y'all think this Colombian connect is going to work? Because I think he's eventually going to fold on them. Let me know what y'all think below. I'm Omari. If you like the content on the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. Be here next week for episode 3. This is Raising Kanan, book 3. I'm Omari, and I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.